Hey guys, so before we jump into this, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we've got a sale on Neckbeardia.co.uk. The sale's along the bottom, 30% off. It's a pretty good sale, just saying, 30%, it's a pretty big sale, and also not just that, we also do free shipping on orders over £70, so that's a thing, check it out.
How many burgers is £1?
That's actually quite a good joke.
Oh, what's that? Freedom dollars.
I don't know. Actually, Sturgeon's not worth as much as what it used to be. You know, sometimes I feel like I should just put the website into.
That'll be £15.
I feel like I should just put the website into dollars. I think it would make make my life a lot easier for a lot of people. But like, hey, you know, look, it is what it is. Anyway,
that's right.
Anyway,
conform.
I'm gonna have to start using thingy. To be fair, I use Imperial quite a bit. You know, but like here before, like that's enough the shilling out of the way. Like let's jump into this. Who benefits? Now I thought you would first look at this and be like, well, obviously this is a shill, but it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting take, so I think we're going to turn this into more of like a podcast format per se. So, Garb, if you want to go for it.
Oh, aye. So who benefits? Let's be cynical for a moment. Who stands to gain the most if companies like Games Workshop and Wizards of the Coast collab? Ignore any notion of people acting for the common good, which they probably have. Throw away the images of spiky-haired and neon-glowing freedom fighters saving the world from goose-stepping megacorps, and let's ask a question of who stands to personally benefit how. For the most part, I largely only see something of bored people using the idea as a source of entertainment / means to occupy their time. We're talking about companies principally, that's a hard... companies principally concerned with hobbies, so we're not looking at something like Nestle trying to withhold water rights from people who need it.
Yeah, that's pretty... Yeah, you know what? He kind of does have a point. Nestle is, like, super evil, not gonna lie. Like, you know, I can't... Like, what's the worst now? Like, big corporation? You know, Nestle's definitely...
Honestly, Nestle
yeah,
and
they're pretty bad, like, as far as it goes.
We're talking largely about companies that make plastic toys and printed cardboard. Doing something like actually putting effort into trying to make them fail via protests, boycotts, propaganda, misinformation, etc. really only seems like something someone with inhumanly excessive amounts of time and effort would be willing to do, which the left definitely...
Yeah, you could say that.
1 hour.
Yeah, no, we'll let him say what he has to say, and then we'll get more than Indian. All right?
Let the man cook.
Yeah,
that's what they say nowadays. It's not even really possible to compare the two to something like Activision, which sought to monopolize video games as much as possible by buying out smaller companies and then letting them burn to the ground. Neither of these two companies have really done much to try and monopolize their particular gaming niches through acquisitions, largely because they generally already have something of near monopoly. Seeing those companies fail wouldn't suddenly unchain the yokes keeping the smaller companies down. It would probably just set back their respective hobbies by reducing some of the major impetuous behind their growth. Maybe smaller companies might see a short-term profit, with dreams of becoming the new leaders of their respective industry. I think that's probably the kind of person who would imagine they stand to personally benefit the most from the collapse of those companies.
I think what he's trying to get at is, like, look at Wizards whenever 4th edition came out. 4th edition was not good for Wizard. The hobby as a whole did take a bit of a downturn, apparently, with the role-playing games in particular, they did go down. So I get what he's trying to say to a certain point, but at the same time, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Garbu, do you want to go for it?
Well, it's a very complicated subject because technically I'm one of those people trying to carve out the niche from the void.
You see, the thing is, though, the way I look at it, for me personally, I don't think like the stuff that I'm interested in, the videos that we do, really are that interesting to like 5e players, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say that in like a mean way, but I'm saying Garbu, let's be serious. The type of people that would be interested in playing the Veil Riders are people that are already willing to play other game systems. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that possibly, I think like the best case scenario would be if Games Workshop or Wizards of the Coast failed. Well, the thing is, there are tons of other games out there already that are big. And I wouldn't even say that Wizards or Workshop has a monopoly. They really don't. They're simply the two, I don't say most popular, but the two larger names that are out there. I mean, there's still Fantasy Flight. There's still...
Yes, they're pretty big, like, you know?
Yeah, the guys who make Songs of Ice and Fire. I mean, there are tons of games out there. Now, 40K is a larger niche due to the age of it, but if it were to collapse... I mean, people just keep playing the game, but in the edition that came out. Like, it's really, like, Wizards of the Coast, though, that's kind of different, because in my opinion, they do kind of have a monopoly more so than Games Workshop. I don't think Games Workshop really fits
I feel
in
like,
this category.
I feel like people that play war games are more inclined, like, they're more willing to play other war games. However, they do, there is big sunk cost fallacy, where a lot of them are unwilling to just because, well, I've already spent all this money on this army, so this is what I play now. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people out there that won't, but I think they're still open to the idea, and I think that's why you don't really see many alternatives to big war games, but there's so many like small skirmish style, like model agnostic systems out there. It's
I'm trying, like, why am I coughing? The current big competitors, air quote, to Games Workshop is Star Wars Legion,
BattleTech, I would say.
BattleTech and Infinity,
I think Infinity and Warhammer Hordes really don't exist anymore. I don't know what happened to them. I have honestly no idea. They were really big in from 2008 to 2013, 14.
But to be quite fair here, and this is my opinion, I'm sure I'm gonna get read that in the comments as per fucking usual. The only big draw to Games Workshop is the lore. And that's because the lore is so established. To be fair,
the lore has been kind of trash for the last wee while. Like, you know, let's be serious. I don't know about you, but
But you know what I mean, though. The lore is what brings people to play. The rules are honestly fucking dog shit. Hopefully they'll fix them in 10th Ed, because 10th Ed does seem promising, and I did buy Eldar in preparation for 10th Ed. But I'm not going full dick down in there. Like, I bought Greyjoy for Fire. Now, here's the thing, though, is that games that constantly innovate will always come out on top. It's why 9th Age is fucking dying. Like, I was a big 9th Age player after Fantasy went down, and that game has stagnated for so long, it's just a rotting piece of shit. I was their biggest cheerleader for 9th Age for the longest fucking time.
I remember you kept getting into big arguments in the forums.
I know.
Like, every other day.
If I got banned like 3 times, but if there's a fire in 9th Age's stomach, I wouldn't piss down their throat to put it out. Like, I cannot stand that company.
So, you go for it.
But even then, the largest competitors to 40K is really, I mean, Star Wars Legion, BattleTech.
I would say
maybe like Gaslands.
No, they're not
in terms of, like, popularity.
I would
maybe Stargrave. Like, there's not a lot of competitors to 40K, because 40K kind of it's a sci-fi game, but it's a sci-fi game that kind of its own niche. You know what I mean? Like, it's an established lore set that's a game based in it.
Like,
I mean, the game can suck absolute fucking
I think
hard,
there's so many different fans of 40K. Like, I don't think you have to play 40K to be a big fan of 40K. Does that make sense? Or just games where Warhammer in general.
But even if 40K failed, like say 40K went down and went under, there are still models out there, and so are the editions. You can still play the game. I mean, nothing's stopping you. That's what's about war games, or any game for that matter, is when the game fails, we can still play the fucking game.
Well,
but I would not equate 40K to Wizards of the Coast.
They are very different, but they've got their own brand of evil. Like, you know, it's like, who do you want to worship? Moloch or Belial? You know what I mean?
Well, it's like, I would say 40K is greedy and tend to be a bit fucking retarded at times, because like their rule says, like, 40K is evil in the fact that in order to push sales, they have a flavor of the month. That's their main evilness with 40K.
The power creep is so bad with 40K that it's actually ridiculous.
But it's not by accident. It's always on purpose. It's just always on purpose.
It's the way they go about it. You know, so I'll tell you guys that the reason why I stopped playing 40K altogether was it wasn't joke. Well, it was power creep. But what happened to me was, so I played Dark Elder for a very long time, and then Eldar Corsairs got a really good update, and essentially what the rules were, to me, was just Dark Elder, but the way I wanted to play Dark Elder. It was Dark Elder, but with so many more options, and they even had pretty much all the same weapons, and a lot of the same rules. It was just so much more customizable, and you could have, like, all their, like, not Archons, but their princes could be way more customized, and it was just, it was, honestly, it was great. It was Forge World Update Codex, and it was, honestly, I loved it. It was, honestly, I had the most fun playing that army out of any army that I have had, and also, because Dark Elder have a very different gameplay anyway, I just enjoyed that type of shit, you know what I mean? That was what I was going into.
We get it, we get it, James.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so I really enjoyed that anyway. Anyway, so I think it was 8th edition came out.
I like when Megan whips me.
Yeah, I'm into that type of shit. But anyway, what happened was they cut them from because it was a Forge World army, and they just didn't get, they got cut from like a full codex down to like 2p, and that was just, no, not doing that, especially after I spent all the money and I had a full like jetpack army and stuff. And honestly, I must have sank about maybe £5,000, easy £5,000 on that army, and it was a great army, loved it to bits, and then it just got completely wiped. And then whenever that happened, I was like, you know what, I'm just not that interested anymore. You know, it felt like I just got cock slapped, something shocking.
Well, it literally felt like, at times, if you didn't buy the newest, bestest thing, you were just lose automatically. And it kind of stripped the fun from the game. It used to be you just buy what you liked, and you play what you liked, and what you liked had a chance to win if you rolled well and got good tactics. Now it's just like, as long as you have the big brand new thingamajigger, you're always going to win. And then, of course, that thing is overpowered, it gets nerfed, no one wants it, they release new thing, like, this thing's really cool, it's overpowered.
It's just
everyone buys that thing.
Honest to God, I think, like, when it comes to, like, particularly Games Workshop, you may as well be playing, like, a card game at this point. Like, that's how bad it is, you know? It really does feel like the more money you sink in, the more likely you are to win. And you do come across some of the worst aspects of nerds, you know, that you just do when it comes to, like, tournament play and stuff like that. It's just not fun at all. But so I'll give you the only thing that I could say positively what this guy is on about. One thing that I think that he would be correct about is, so say for instance, if I owned a game store, I would buy tons of role-playing books. I would buy ones from all over the place. I'd buy ones from all different companies, and I'd really want to get as much stock in as I can. However, a lot of game stores really can't afford to have dead stock or stuff that they don't know if it's going to sell or not.
You're losing
you're
money.
buying stuff in, and you're
actually. I have a great example of this. There's a store in town, or was in town, called Heroes Complex. All right, down in Wichita, store we do all the time. Now these guys would buy lots of merch of games that just wouldn't sell, and to also hamper that, they had horrible customer service. They were honestly absolute fucking dicks to people, and like they could not move they had shelves of like Warmer Hordes and War Machine stuff that you run your finger along it, an inch of dust would be on your finger. So if you don't shop smartly and appropriately, you will literally throw hundreds of thousands of dollars down in a garbage chute and then set it on fire.
But again, I'll give you another good example. In one of my game stores, they've still got a good stack of 4th edition books. You know what I mean? What are they going to do with that? What are you actually going to do with that? Exactly. No one's buying it. No one, people that are interested in 4th edition already have the books. They're going to do that. No one's really that big going to be all that keen into it. You know what I mean? So I get it from that point of view, because I feel like role-playing games specifically, if you just look at Kickstarter, look at the amount of people that are writing stuff, it'd be so hard to be able to work out, like, what should I actually stock in my shop? What would be good books to have in, and I suppose you could look at some of the other big competition, like, Free League Press has got some really lovely books. They're doing some really good stuff. Exalted Press as well.
Well, actually, technically, they don't even need stores. Most writers don't need a store to put their shit in. They can sell it online on drive-through or other websites maybe coming up, or on a coffee page, or on YouTube. You don't need a game store anymore. Technically, the modern RPG gamer doesn't even need a game store. They can play online or wherever they want. Now the Wargamer needs a game store which is why my local game store, Pink Elephant, they sell food now. Why? Because once Wargamers have bought what they want, they're not going to buy anything else. So in order to keep revenue coming in, because you don't want to charge for table space, because then people want want to sit and camp on their table. And how do you track it? So to help generate more income for people who already have all their stuff, you sell them milkshakes, you sell them pizzas, you sell them drinks. You still generate revenue that way. But regardless, like the thing is, Sage W went tits up. Right? There's still Infinity. There's still Legion. There's Malifaux. There's BattleTech. There's Dreadball. Flames of War. But the thing is, there are other ones you can go play. If 40K went down, there wouldn't really be a big vacuum because there's tons of other games you can play. Now, if Wizards of the Coast went down, that's more of a cultural thing, is what I would say. Wizards of the Coast is kind of like a cultural monopoly more than anything else. And they've honestly...
they've just been...
They kind of more or less ruined the RPG space.
They've been infested with activist types that don't even have any interest in role-playing games whatsoever. They're just... I feel like...
it's all about
they're cultural Marxists. I feel like I'm a parody of myself anytime I talk about anything like this. But again, at the same time, it's absolutely true. And honestly, I wouldn't really have a problem with Wizards at all. If they just started making like good books. See,
Pinkertons.
I wouldn't even mind that half as much. All companies make mistakes. Maybe they went really super heavy-handed. They shouldn't have went super heavy-handed. Maybe that was a miscommunication. Who knows? I'm still going to call them cocksuckers over the matter. But
the thing is, has UW ever done the amount of stuff that WOTC has done? I mean, we think about WTC's track record. I haven't seen GW go, you know what? We don't want white gamers.
Well, the only time I've seen anything close to that, the only time Games Workshop ever went anything even remotely close to that was the whole racism is not welcome message that they had. That was a few years.
Yeah. As I host a game about exterminating Xenos.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
And deleting the mutant. Wait a minute here.
Apparently, GW does get a lot of flack. So they're based in Nottingham, and apparently a lot of the locals call them the Nazi building because they used to have like a big Aquila or something like that on the wall on the side of the building.
That's because people are ignorant.
Yeah, exactly. What do you expect from the typical North FC Anglo? You know what I mean? Okay, I know Nottingham's not up north, but come on, I'm still going to use it. It's still not far off it. But yeah, honestly, I'd be very happy. So for me personally, I see when it comes to Wizards, or when it comes to it's just 5e that I've got an issue with, and it's not the biggest 5e of issues I've got. The biggest problem that I've got is the way that they do it. I feel like I feel like
really.
I think if it wasn't for Wizards, I don't think we would be having a DM shortage, and I think there's a few pros and cons. I think one of the reasons has to be is the way that they sell their books. And what they do is, I think they should be doing both, but they don't really sell books for DMs. Does that make sense? They sell books for players.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. There are DM guides.
Exactly.
They're kind of dog shit.
That's what I'm trying to get at. I feel like, and even then, they throw in a lot of bells and whistles. Now, don't get me wrong, new subclasses, new this, new that. It just makes life a lot more complicated for most DMs, and I think that's the reason why you're seeing less and less people. Like, what was on the... I don't know which Discord server it is. I think it might be the official D&D Discord server. But if you look at the stats, it's something like there's...
It's probably a fucking
I've never been on it, but apparently there's like 70 players to each DM. 70 players.
Well, that's because people are... I have not met more lazy players than in D&D 5e that would rather sit and wait for a DM than just become the DM. And now this may be me being bro, you're such a boomer, but the people who play D&D are the most unmotivated, most lazy fucking people I've ever met in my life. Like, they can't be bothered to learn like a simple game. Like, my game's got action points and all these actions. There, you have 2 fucking actions in D&D, and one's a move. Like, you can't sort shit out. You have 2 options. Figure it out. Like, in D&D 5e, each spell has a requirement of Regent. They ignore that shit. Why? Because they're fucking lazy. They want to track that shit. To be fair,
that's me. I ain't tracking that shit either. See what bag slots
but I've been a GM for tons of game systems, from Fantasy Flight Star Wars game to when I was testing out Savage Lands and all that. I have not met a more lazy player than a D&D 5e player. And it honestly, and they adhere to, I think they adhere to 5e because it's fucking chic right now. It's like, oh, all the cool kids are playing D&D.
See, that's what gets me the most as well. Like, see, whenever I say to people, like, about OSR and stuff like that, like, I'm really interested in it, I'm really enjoying it, and a lot of, like, if you just say to people, it's like, yeah, it's pretty much just like older editions. It's like first and second edition D&D essentially. Like that's what it is at its core. And then suddenly like, no, not terribly interested in that. Do you know what I mean? Even though it's like roughly compatible. Like if you can play 5e, you can play. If you can play 5e, you can play any OSR system. I'm telling you this right now, you're going to be able to. And you won't have an issue. And again, like, you know, I feel like even bringing this up, it feels like, but James, but Garbo, all you're doing is complaining. About what about the health of the hobby? Like, don't get me wrong. Okay, having a corporation can be a good thing. Why can it be a good thing? They can sink a lot of money into advertising. They can set up a lot of sponsor a lot of events.
I wouldn't say so. No, I would say if there's going to be a monopolizing hobby center, they have to remain neutral on fucking everything except maybe, like, okay, being anti-racist is fine, I get that, but be neutral on everything else. Now, Wizards Coast is not doing that. They're not being neutral on politics or anything else. And due to this fact, so basically, I would love to see them go under. Why? They have subterfuge into a well-loved game that was more or less the top dog in terms of RPGs due to popularity. That's what really comes down to. Is it a good game? No, it's not a good game, but it's very popular.
It works perfectly fine. Game. Like, that's what I would put on it.
Lots of movie stars and other actors play D&D 5e. Ooh, I love Matt Mercer's hair. I want to suck his dick. Those are the guys who play D&D 5e. Yeah. The thing is, if D&D 5e crashed and burned, people, fucking by the grace of God, may find a better game, or might go out and play different games. May go out and savor the RPG rainbow.
The perfect example ever was that Edge Gunner 5e conversion. It's like, you
could just play Cyberpunk, you know, fuck.
Like,
I remember that shit.
Why don't you just, it's like, no, it needs to be, or like, what about the Star Wars 5e conversion? Star Wars Fantasy Flight is a really good system. You should check it out. The only downside, I think, that people, I'm okay with people. Yeah, I love the way the dice work. I love the way they work, but I get why people don't like, like not numbered dice. What do you call it? Like symboled dice. I get that, and I get why people don't like it. But I do feel like their dice system is actually very, very good, and I think it's worth overlooking that and just giving it a go and seeing what you think at the very least. Honestly, like, see, when it comes to it, Wizards, please just kill over and die. I'd be very happy for it.
So I don't know if you know this, but we've got a website with lots of models, and whenever I say lots of models, I mean lots of models. We've got models for any setting that you can think of, with humans with biddies, animals that shouldn't have biddies but do have biddies, dwarves and elves with biddies. Look, we've got a lot of smut models, but it doesn't stop there. We really do have models for anything and everything, and to be honest, they look so good. Chef's kiss, so good. But it's not all smut for all you good Christian Minecraft server players. We've got you covered. And we even got the weebs covered too, which is unusual for this channel because we don't like weebs.
Yeah, the weebs aren't that bad, okay? They're just fun to laugh at.
We also have 5th edition subclasses and adventures, which some of them are free for download, and we sell a physical printed copy of Steel Water as well, and you can request a signed version if that's your thing, where I'll draw a penis on it for you.
If you want us to sign a couple of decks, we'll give you decks, okay, guys? That's what you want.
Anyway, if you enjoy what we do here, go ahead and check out the website. It helps us out so much, and we don't need to worry about our YouTube overlord striking down another one of our channels. Our website is also now available as an app on Android. Also, and the winner of the daily giveaway is this guy! Yay! Woo!
Look, anyway, in for a chance to win, all you gotta do is like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, automatically entered in.
And to claim the prize, you just send an email to neckbeardiacontact@gmail.com. Let's get back to the video.
And look, let's go into more conspiracy level stuff. Let's look to the future. What is it they're trying to do? What did they try to do? Look what they tried to do with the OGL. Look what they tried to do. They did try to push to monopolize. You know, this guy's saying no, yes, but we didn't actually. It's not like it's Activision. It's not like this. It's not like that. No, they
tried to seize things that weren't theirs and make them their own.
They tried to be like, okay, every single person that likes any form of D&D content, you are actually subcontractors and cough up. Where's our money? You know that
your extension.
Yeah, exactly.
Our extension.
And then what was the next thing that they tried to do? They tried and push this virtual tabletop. Oh, okay. That sounds pretty cool. Why not? Okay, you know what? I play on a virtual tabletop. I wouldn't be opposed to this idea. But then what is it all about? Oh, microtransactions. Great. Microtransactions. Yeah, You know what? I've seen what happened to video games. I ain't doing that again. I couldn't tell you the last time I played a modern video game that I actually really enjoyed. Well, actually, no. I quite liked Sons of the Forest. Me and Megan were playing that a couple of weeks ago. That was actually fun. I liked that. Valheim was okay.
So what we can do is that we can kind of compare the two games, because GW is just greedy, and they exploit that greed via power creep. Wizards of the Coast wants to control everything, and not only do that, but reap the benefits off the work of others. At least GW pays and creates their own stuff. I use big sarcastic air quotes with that statement. Wizards of the Coast, though, they are more than happy to steal an entire expansion from someone who spent all the time making it and say, this is ours now. And then monetize that.
Or at least they tried to. They really wanted to. If they could have got away with it, if there wasn't half as much of a kick up, it would have happened. They would have went for it, and they wouldn't have.
That's what I'm saying. They wanted to go, this is ours, and it's our money now, and thank you for making us our thing. Goodbye. And they would have completely cut you off.
And again,
because we've all seen what they make. Because I mean, do we know how much money they're losing?
Honestly,
by any chance?
I don't think
because the movie bombed.
The movie did bomb. I don't think, honestly, see, when it comes to it, all they could do, all they need to do is literally just write good adventures, like good books, just pump them out, really just work on making good books, and what are they playing at? Strixhaven, man? What?
Just knuckle down and have talent?
Honestly, honest to God, just knuckle down and make books and adventures that people... You know what they should be doing? You know who's a brilliant example of this? Lamentations of the Flame Princess, right? I know a lot of you guys are probably going to gurn at me. Fuck all people actually play the Lamentations of the Flame Princess core rules. But you know what people buy the books for? Their adventures are pretty banging. And they're hit or miss. Some people like them, some people don't. I do like them, and I would say, honestly, Death Frost Doom would probably be my favourite ever adventure that I've bought and played through, and I bought it early this year, so I did, and I've played it about 3 or 4 times, and honestly, I think it's going to be my default adventure. If I don't have anything prepped, I'm just going to run Death Frost Doom, because it's so, honestly, Garb, you need to check it out. It's a really good adventure, but that's all they got to do, just amazing adventures, and you know what, even if you're not playing 5e, people would still pick up them adventures because they're just that good. You know, people would be more.
I can paraphrase this completely. Really, is just make the fans fall in love with you. That's what you got to do. All you got to do is write good stuff and let the fans fall in love with what you do.
And the thing is, they've got to fall when they have to fall. And this stuff doesn't even need to be that good for it to sell. That's the other thing. You know what I mean?
Just be good enough. Just pass the bar by any measure. As long as you pass the bar, it should be fine. But I've gone through, because my local game store has these books. I kind of read through them because they're all wrapped up in plastic, but sometimes they get broken up. Hey, can I read that? He goes, yeah, sure. So I read through it, and it's just I don't understand how fanfic writers online can write better plots than an entire company.
Because they're actually interested, they are passionate about it. People that like fan fiction tend to be, okay, a lot of fan fiction tends to be kind of trash, not gonna lie, but you can't deny that the person writing it obviously loves and enjoys the source material, you know?
But this is a huge company that has all of the resources that you and I would like beat a person to death to get, and they just completely fuck it. They just completely fuck it every step of the way they can. And I don't know what their goal is. If it's like, if we're like super incompetent, then come back competent, we might look better. But like, I don't know what. But I think they should fail. Like, I think GW could wind back on the power creep a fair bit. But Wizards of the Coast has done more damage, because at least GW doesn't do any damage. At least GW doesn't do any damage to the wargaming community or anything like that.
They don't need
Wizards of the Coast has done irreparable damage to not only artists who draw for them, but the community, their fans, the people who buy their stuff, their consumers. It's just a constant donkey show of them just railing the people who want to buy their stuff.
I would agree with that. I think there's definitely something to be said there, I think. And you know, the funny thing is, see, if you asked me like two years ago, James, what's the worst company, GW or Wizards? I'd be like, GW, easy, man. Not even a question. Like, you know, like, these GW are just greedy. That's all I can put on it. Like, you know, like, I think that's really what it comes down to. And the only things that they're really ruining are their own games, you know what I mean? And eventually people like get burnt out on them, you know, from that. And that's where I consider myself. I feel like, don't get me wrong, I still like 40k. I don't like Age of Sigmar, but I still like Warhammer Fantasy. I'm interested in the lore. If something was to come about, I'd be like, all right, okay, I'll check it out. But I don't see myself jumping back into the tabletop anytime soon, personally, you know.
Maybe 10th Ed for me.
Well, I might, whenever Ozzy's a bit older, I think if he's interested in it, I'd play with him, no issue. Like, you know, I would definitely do it for Ozzy, like, if that's something that he would be interested in. But until then, I don't see myself getting back in, like, you know, me, you know. And also, I see my... Oh, no, one of the key things is that with a war game, like I cycle through war games. I'll play a match of this and a match of that all on the same day. Like, I'll play a match of Legion, a match of Song of Ice and Fire, and that's about 4 hours out of my day off, and I'm like, okay, I'm satisfied. Most people who play these Wizards of the Coast games, they don't switch off. They lock in. They lock into one thing, and they play that thing until like they're dreaming of the fucking card sounds in their hands, and that's honestly unhealthy as shit. You should branch out and trust anything else. And I think that if Wizards went down, people may finally go and play something else. Like, you have to go and play other things. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 games that I play war game wise, and I'll just cycle through, you know, and it helps keep things from getting boring, you know. And I mean, there are people who have only played D&D 5e for 15 years. That's all they've played. When did it come out? It came out like 2014 or so. 5e done. Just D&D.
Just D&D. Yeah. Like only playing D&D, nothing else for 15 years. All they know, D&D, and they get sucked into that cult apparatus. Now, inaccurate for all my Mara bros out there. Accurate thing is saying Wizards of the Coast is like Harley Davidson. It's all they drive. It's all they know. It's all they wear. They're all about Harley Davidson. And what's it do? It creates a cult.
It's definitely a lifestyle.
And right now, in comparing the two, Wizards of the Coast is now a lifestyle cult, where Games Workshop is just a war game.
I would agree with that. Don't get me wrong. There's some fanatical 40k fans out there, you know.
Well, yeah, but not nearly as much.
Like, you know, I don't think they're. The thing is, I think fanatical GW fans aren't actively against other systems, though, or they're not. They're just like, I'm not overly, you know what I mean? Let's have a look.
Look at the war gamers.
They're okay, and just stuff. Like, even like the most diehard ones will be like, yeah, sure, let me check that out. You know what I mean? I'll give it a wee look. If you explain the rules to me, okay, you know what? I see that. Yeah, actually, you know what? I might.
World War II. That's pretty cool. I'll try that out. You know, they actually go and try the war games because you can. Yeah. Because all you need is another dude and about $100 commitment. Like a box set for Ice and Fire was like $120. I was like, that damn, all right, that's cheap as shit for a war game. A army box from Legion is about $189. You know, so you can go and buy a box, set it up, and you're off playing the game. And you can feel it. Do I like it? And I like it. And say you don't like it. Well, it's a whole second party aspect where you can go and sell your army. With D&D 5e, there is only D&D 5e. Not to mention, as a player, you ain't gonna buy shit.
Let's look at it now like this. Let's say, so we can see that if GW went bankrupt, I think someone would buy up the IP anyway. It's too popular for them not to buy up the IP. I definitely see more stuff happening, and I definitely see a lot of people moving to other war games anyway. But what if Wizards went under? Now, of course, they would be bought over by another company. That would be obvious. But let's say that. But let's just say that for whatever reason, what would be the next contender? So the obvious one would be Pathfinder. You know, World of Darkness. They don't have it. They're gone. You know what I mean? Let's be serious. I don't see.
Let's see here. 2022 top tabletop
role-playing games.
RPG game. Yeah, we're playing games. Yeah,
I'll search. Give me the link.
So let's see here. Top 10. This is from the Gamer. This should be good. Here's this for you. Sending you the link.
All right, let's see. What do we have?
So the Gamer.
Oh, they got Cyborg. Sweet. Okay. Well, to be fair, I haven't played Cyborg yet, so I don't really know.
So this is basically the game First Responders, Cody and Crow, which is honestly
get that fucking away. Shit. That's ridiculous. I've heard a lot of good things about Mothership. Actually, Mothership apparently is quite good. Yabizi Bed and Breakfast.
Okay, so calm down.
Never heard of you.
Yazeba's Bed and Breakfast is interesting. So it's all about owning a bed and breakfast. If you don't like combat adventures, that's kind of your thing.
Honestly, I actually kind of like this idea. A great choice for those with a lighthearted approach to gaming. You and your friends take control of one of the B&B's diverse guests and go on an adventure based on their days. And I actually kind of like that. You know, me and Mittens were talking about. Do you want to do? We were thinking about making a game where we were like plumbers. You know, but it was in like a weird think like Backrooms style, like tar block. I thought it was actually going to be pretty fun, but it wasn't really combat focused. It was just like, I don't know, you know what I mean? I thought it was really fun. I think I might check that out.
Here's a second one.
Let's see.
So this one is this one focused on indie games a lot. What I've noticed reading down Avatar and everything else. So here's another one.
Coyote Crow. That's not going to take over. Fuck away off. Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah. Game Informer, you know, Dragonlance, it's got a good chance.
Dragonlance, again, it's just a D&D setting, so, like, you know,
I know, but it's kind of a spicier setting.
Well, I don't know, like, I'm pretty sure Dragonlance are starting it off with a fishing contest.
The One Ring.
Apparently that's quite good. A lot of people, and then Into the Odd, I've heard some mixed reviews on it. I've been interested in checking it out. The One Ring, I've heard good things about. Nine Arches, never heard of you. Pathfinder, honestly, don't care. You know, the thing is, I just don't care much for Pathfinder. I really don't. That I've heard a lot of good thing of. I think he was one of the boys was trying to get me to play this. Vaccine, apparently it's decent. From what they said anyway, they were very excited about it, you know. But the thing is, like, I don't know, like, I'd be more than happy if Wizards just killed over and died. And honestly, I don't think it would. It's not like it's going to increase my profit margin. It's not like suddenly everyone's going to run over and be like, hey, I'm going to, you know what? It would, you know what I mean? I don't think it would. And in fact, I think it would probably be worse off for me if Wizards went under, because then I think there would be less people watching role-playing related content online anyway, so therefore it would actually probably I think it would probably affect me negatively, but at the same time I absolutely fucking can't stand them. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I think what way do you want to...
It would ruin my Reddit cringe post.
Do you want to... How can we wrap this up? Where do we go from here?
You know, it's hard to say, because of course it's all speculation and opinion. Not only that, it's personal opinion, because you and me have been in the RPG sphere. I mean, I've been in the sphere since I was, I'd say about 20 years in the RPG sphere.
Wargaming, it would be something like that. Wargaming would be about 20 years. Role-playing games, about 8, maybe, if even 8. No, actually, no. When did 5e come out? About 2014, sometime around then. You know, it wasn't long after. You know, so.
But it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, if Games Workshop went down, someone would buy the IP and probably all the casting and all the sprues and probably not change much. I mean, the game wouldn't really change much. Maybe a rule set, but the lore would remain the same. If Wizards of the Coast went down, I think the world would be better off, in my opinion, because they are trying to monopolize. To me, in my opinion, they're trying to monopolize the entire RPG tabletop sphere and bring everyone into the fold. And not only doing that, but they're trying to do it politically and trying to shame people. Like, you know, fucking the one dude. People like me can't leave the game.
What the fuck's all that about? Yeah, Kyle the Cock.
And then, like, at the same time, like, they're so tone deaf, they can't help but just completely alienate their fan base. Like, in my opinion, there's not a single company that deserves to die more with Wizards of the Coast. Because think about it, what game have they not just completely fucked up?
All right, let's go through it. Let's see. Let me type in D&D settings 5e. Let me just type this in. So Irreparable, they didn't do anything different with that. Forgotten Realms, that's their baby. Mythics of Pharos. They didn't really fuck it up because that's not really that old. Dragonlance, from everything I've heard, they made a hack of it. Ravenloft, they had to fucking go back and redo it. Dark Sun, they're never going to do Dark Sun, and that's a good thing. Let's not try and kid ourselves. That's the best thing that they could do, is never touch it, Let me go down. Let me just have a wee nosy. But yeah, pretty much, I would say everything that they've touched, they've pretty much made a hack of. Leading Citadel, that's one of their new ones. Don't care about it. It's full of fucking trash.
Here we go. Okay, so their games, right, are Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering, and like Spell Slingers. They're only 2 IPs, and to be fair, Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons have a huge fan base, but they've done nothing but hurt, damage, and alienate the fan base. If not split the fan base, if not make the fan bases declare war on each other. They fucked over artists. They've removed art. They've changed art. They've scrubbed away artist names from posters. Like they could not be a worse company. At least Games Workshop just wants your money. Wizards wants everything.
I'll give you one. The only bad one I can think of related to that was, so Games Workshop, remember Duncan, everyone knows Duncan, Teeth and Coats, all that. Yeah. So he went off, did his own thing. Oh, well and good, everyone loves Duncan. And then the other fella came along, I can't remember who he is, and he did the same thing. He got a bit of a following, and he went off and started his own YouTube channel and what have you. And then your girl, what do you call her? She did it as well. And that was after the second guy left. They changed it so they don't have like face cameras on anymore. So it's only the hands. So they were trying to like disconnect people from the artist doing the tutorials and whatnot. But she left. Apparently she would post on TG quite a bit. Apparently she would post into the thingy thread, the work in progress. Yeah, she's got a really distinct art style. So she does. It's like a rainbow sort of. The power swords are very good, I must say. She is a good painter now, I'll give her that, but again, that's the only one that I can think of with Games Workshop treating their employees poorly. Bar that, their pay isn't good, and apparently they do have some cult-like mentality, where the whole idea of, oh, how great is it to work here, you know what I mean? You get to work with your hobby every day. It's like, well, lots of people can do, the thing is, if you're that passionate about war games and whatnot, honest to God, start a blog, start a YouTube channel, do something like that. Because that's actually how this channel started. For me personally, it was me and Megan moved into a house together, and I knew I wasn't going to have much money to be able to buy, because I would just buy sets every other week or whatever, and then I would paint. So I'd have one day off from Megan, we would go out and do something, and then the other day I would be in the house. And I was like, no, I'm not going to have the money to be able to sit down and paint all the time. You know what I mean? So I was like, you know what could I do instead? So I was like, well, you know what, I'll have a go at, I watch a lot of YouTube channels. You know what, I'll give it a go. What's the harm? Let's have a go at doing that. And I've been doing YouTube full time for 4 years now, for God's sake, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, I would say to anyone, if you're interested in it, just give it a go. And have, if you're having fun with what you're doing, other people are going to have fun with what you're doing. You know what I mean?
No fun.
Yeah, or maybe if you're not interested in YouTube or whatever, what was the last really good adventure you ran? Or, what about your DM? What do you want to sit down with them and write down, the adventure that you really enjoyed, that you absolutely loved, converted it, write it up, get it looking nice, and put it up for sale, or better yet, just give it away and show off. I think honestly the best way to get your name out there is to give away stuff for free these days. You'd be rather have people playing your stuff rather than it just sitting on digital store shelves. You know what I mean?
Depends on the amount of effort you put into
it. If you're
really.
Pretty much I would agree with that. But again, Wizards didn't really want that. They decided, you know what, and I think that's one of the things that really gave 5e a massive edge is their third party content. Being able to go on to Roll20 and there's literally every single adventure that you could imagine. That's
but we can't monetize that. We're gonna lose money.
Exactly. All Wizards needs to do is look into who's writing the best books, who's doing this, who's doing that. Just write storybooks.
Yeah. My God, actually does the D&D 5e even write? Like, you know, like in 40K is all the novels. Are there D&D 5e?
Oh, there is the
I'm sure there are. Yeah, D&D.
There's what do you call that guy? The injured guy that everyone wanks over. I can't remember. I've got him as a model. I don't know if he's up for sale on the site or not though. There's
Legends and Lattes apparently. Actually, on that book.
Blizzards.
Dungeons and Dragons: The Druid's Call, Among Thieves. Okay,
yeah,
so there are some. So even
I think they started. If I remember correctly, they started really trying to pump these out like early 2000s. They started really doing these.
Let's see: Dragonlance Chronicles, Secret of the Djinn, the Prison Pinted, the Dark Disciple trilogy, Dragonlance, the Moonshade trilogy, Forgotten Realms. These all look old as shit. Just write a damn book. Like my retard ass can write books. You can't find one fucking writer in that entire fucking sweatshop you call a company.
It is.
Hey, write a story for us, novel wise. I guess I'll do a halfling adventure. Like you only have 30 fucking races to choose from.
Yeah. Or like, you know, this is another thing that I noticed they don't really do. They seem to focus on like campaign books. Why don't they not like do some like adventure, like pamphlets and stuff like that? Like something really cheap. Like, you know, just like one-off adventure.
Make a Stillwater campaign.
Stillwater. Like you know what I mean? Like it's not a bad idea, just selling like a wee pamphlet. Like, you know, like what is Stillwater? It's like 10 pages long, if even, and that's with the subclasses on it. You know, and
well, I guess the only thing holding them back is the fact they don't have any fucking talent, I guess. That's kind of a fucking Achilles tendon.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck me. You got something, like, you know...
Hey. D&D's not about fun. It's about fighting the Nazis and beating back the conservatives because we're the forward light.
Garbo, you don't get it. I'm on the right side of history, man. Don't you know that? I'm on...
Actually, sweetie, my sweet summer child, I'm on the right side of history.
Is that a bad thing I see? Ooh. Like, you know what? I'm just going to lap up here because I don't...
You're not a bigot, are you?
I don't think we're going to get anywhere with this. I feel like I really tried to, like, get... Like, I tried to start the video off as, like, right, I'll try and be as positive for Wizards as I possibly can, but literally, it lasted maybe the first, like, 5 minutes where I was like, right, okay, would it be bad if it went down? The thing is, any benefits you would get from having like a big corporation having such a stranglehold is negated because they don't do anything fucking good with what they can do, and everything that they try to do they just make a fucking hack of. And again, I think this guy's like, the only thing I think what this guy's trying to make out is, if you know, the only reason why people want Wizards to fail is so they can personally profit from the situation. And honestly, I just don't think I'd profit from the situation anyway, because I don't think I would make it. Like, you know, I just don't think I would make any money from it because I don't think I'm advertising to the people. I don't really.
No. It's not even that. The only answer is the people who play D&D aren't buying.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
So what?
Even if it failed, all the guys who are leeching and mooching off D&D 5e because they're such big fans, yada yada, they're not actually buying anything. Okay, I've talked to hundreds of these people, both in real life and online. They just download PDFs. They just use the resources that Roll20 has. They don't buy anything. So even if Wizards went down, these folks aren't gonna fucking buy anything. They don't buy stuff. The DMs buy stuff, but the players don't buy stuff. The players buy the players buy lifestyle stuff, keychains, t-shirts. Look, guys, I'm a cool D&D player. That's what they buy, which is why Wizards is moving towards this whole compartmentalized pay-to-win shit. Like, you can go, well, you can buy this special skin for your tiefling. It's bright pink. You know, because they're all about lifestyle shit. Because they don't buy game stuff. They don't play the game because they like it. They play the game because it's popular.
I think
it's in vogue.
I think I would agree with that. I don't even believe other. I think some people I think people would see like okay, a good example would be Shadow Dark. I think Shadow Dark came out at the perfect time, you know, and I think it's
we'll wait for the hour.
Right, okay. You know what? I won't talk about Shadow Dark. I think it came out at the perfect time, and I think yeah. Well, to be fair, like, you know, like the woman that made Shadow Dark, she was like in tons of third-party content for.
She played with Gary Gygax.
She was making stuff for 5e. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, I don't know. It is kind of interesting that it happened to come about at the perfect time as after the OGL thing and all that jazz. But look. like, we're coming up to an hour.
And all the right names, said her name and the game name, and all the right time, and all the right communities. Not suspicious at all. It's like it's a concerted effort.
It did feel like that. That, and also, like, I'm not going to get into it, but, like, you know, there was a... You can't do paid for fucking adverts and not disclose that you're actually getting paid for it. I don't care if people get paid for doing, like, a review, but you really have to be straight up, you know what I mean? Or at least disclose, like, yeah, you know what, I'm actually kind of friends with this guy, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It would be like me doing, like, a review of Veil Riders, like, yeah, you do know I'm actually, like, friends with him, by the way, you know what I mean? So if you think that's impartial, then, like, that's up to you then, you know? If you
like you would take the piss out of my game.
Well, I fucking hate your bag. Like, see, doing everything in pints, Jesus fuck, man, that's just ridiculous. Like, come on, that's the most spurry way possible. But the most realistic, I don't care, it's fucking shit. You know,
it should be in Bing Bong weight, actually.
I've came to the conclusion that the only good way to do bag management is to either completely ignore it or just do bag slots, and it's very video gamey, but it works, and I don't even feel bad. So yeah, on that, I think we're gonna wrap up. Guys, remember, check out the website. We got a 30% sale on. That's a very nice sale, so, you know, make the most of it. It is on until the end of May. It's the whole way through May, so, like, you know, make the most of it if you want to. If not, I mean, like, you know, if you were going to buy something anyway, you may as well get it off. You may as well get it on sale. You know what I mean? Because everything's 30% off, you know, so that's a thing. Anything else, Garbo? Anything else worth mentioning before we wrap up? Oh, yeah, how's your Veil Riders?
So I'm currently in layout. I'll send you a screenshot of what I'm doing. So I've layout doing them right now for the manual. Then I have all my artist drawing shit. I have probably... Let's see here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like fucking 50 art pieces I have to go through. Here is, so I have different artists doing it for, like, because I like seeing different kinds of art styles and books. Here's one for the Himbo lovers.
What the fuck is this? Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It's a Himalaya Harpy. So we're working on stuff. I have a military type print. I have all this fun shit. Hopefully the manual should be out by the end of the month for y'all to use and go through. So people keep asking me, I'm not going to print this off until at least 4 months of eyeballs on it to fix my mistakes, because I got a jelly brain and I miss stuff. So you guys can find and fix the shit I miss.
Yeah, that's not a bad way of going about it, you know, because once it's in print, it's very hard to change it, you know.
Yeah, and I don't want folks wasting their money on a book that's not even properly done. That'd make you sad.
You got version 1.2 instead of version 1.8. You know what I mean? Let's be serious. Yeah.
Idiot.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, look, I think that's where we're going to wrap up. Yeah, I've got nothing else to say bar 30% seal, and Wizards of the Coast can suck my dick.